Let's see. I think I came in that way. And there's the strange looking house again. Swear I've been by the same spot like 3 times already. No clue where I am. Oh, hi there, guys. I'm in a bit of a problem. I came to this traditional Korean village today, and it's supposed to be like a self-guided tour, but I didn't want to follow along with the other people I saw, and I started wandering around by myself, and everything kind of looks the same, and now I'm completely lost here. So, I don't know. I did bring along my whiteboard this time. I made sure to do that just in case something happened. And yeah, it looks like in this case, I'm stuck here. There's no way that I can get out of this town. I don't know if any of you guys have a Google Maps. My phone's not even getting reception here in this Korean town. I guess traditional Korean houses didn't have Wi-Fi or something. I don't know. But yeah, I guess I'm stuck here at least until someone comes by to tell me how I can get out of here. So, how are you guys all doing? We've got a very big topic for today that is going to take the whole 2 hours, likely, and probably even more. But I'll make sure we stop on time. And let's just take a look at the chat for a moment. Why is lesson so... We're not starting... I'm not starting yet. I just wanted to turn on the stream a few minutes early. Let's see. Oh, hello. Yes, Ibrahim, Kylie Kim. Some kind of uniform. Hey. Secretive and Ahimang, my 2 lovely admins of this chat. Mappy Generalis Rays. How did you get that little icon? Is that a regular emoticon? That's kind of cool. Looks like Korea emoticons. Mary Liz, hello. Did I say some kind of uniform? I should have said some kind of unicorn. But before we get started, I will let you know what the prerequisites are for today's lesson. We're going to be talking about one single grammar form today. But I shouldn't say one single grammar form. We're going to be talking about one concept today, and that is ji. Now, this is not the same thing as ji when it comes at the ending of at the end of a sentence, at the end of a verb. So like, you might know the normal one. 하지, like 좋아하지, 좋지, 좋죠. It's not that. This is not related to that at all. This is a different form. You might have seen it as something like 는지, or maybe you've seen it as 을지 or 은지, like this. This is I would say it's difficult to classify what level this form is. It starts off at beginning level. So something like the regular nunji form used with some types of adverbs that we'll talk about would be something that you would learn in the beginning level before you would even become an intermediate speaker. Before you can talk Korean, you would learn some of this. But things like 을지 and 은지, you wouldn't learn until you're at least an intermediate speaker. And then there are some ways to use these in addition to the regular ways that you learn, which would be only for advanced learners. So I want to give you a warning in advance that I'll let you know as we go up each level of difficulty. But this live stream will go from beginning level to advanced level. So if you get to a level where you feel like I can't go any further, that's your level. If we get to the intermediate stuff and you feel like you can't go any further, that means you're not intermediate yet. If you get to the advanced stuff and you feel like you can't go any further, that means you're not advanced yet. So what I'm worrying about is that half of you guys will leave about an hour into the stream once we start getting to the more intermediate stuff. I'll try to make it as simple as possible for you to understand. However, I'm just letting you know that typically the upper level versions of this form are not really that useful if you're not able to first use the lower level versions of the form, because it's all the same single concept. This is one concept. It is not changing at all. Just it has so many places it can be used. Let me give you a comparison. What if someone said, how can I use the word to in English. This doesn't mean to. I'm just giving you a comparison. How can you use the word to? Well, it could be used in very simple ways like I like to swim, but it could also be like to be or not to be, or it could be like go to the store, or it could be jumping to conclusions. You can have idiomatic uses. So it's kind of like that. It's a simple concept that can spread between beginner levels and in advanced levels. So I'm going to be going through all of its major uses today, and hopefully you can follow along, at least for the majority of it. There are some prerequisites today. So the prerequisites for today's is first that you can conjugate verbs. Conjugate both active and descriptive verbs, so regular conjugation, specifically you'll form is fine. You also need to have knowledge of basic commands, specifically the seo ending, like chuseo or do something like that, haseo. You also need to know how to conjugate descriptive verbs and action verbs as adjectives. I think this might be the biggest prerequisite that would turn people off from this lesson. In order to do this lesson past the beginning stages, so you could do the beginning stages, but not further, you will have to know how to conjugate a descriptive verb as an adjective, so regular way of conjugating descriptive verbs, and you will also have to know how to conjugate action verbs as adjectives too. Now, I covered that already in a previous live stream a few weeks ago, and I've also already edited a abridged version of that live stream. I'm not sure if I uploaded it yet or not. It might be. But yeah, you should know how to do this concept as well, like how to say a person who goes or a person who likes using descriptive verbs and action verbs. So that's a requirement to using this form. The reason is this form is used after an adjective, only after adjectives. So if you don't know how to conjugate action verbs as adjectives, you can still use this form, but only with descriptive verbs. So it'll be very limited in what you can do. But whether you follow along, how far you follow along today, let me say that again. However, how far you follow along today is completely up to you. So do as far as you feel like you're comfortable doing. And don't worry if something seems too difficult. That just means that's above your pay grade. That's above your level. So don't worry about that because we're going to go from beginner all the way to advanced. So at some point, you'll have to tap out unless you're an advanced speaker. The other thing you should know how to do today is, this is the last prerequisite. You should know how to use negatives in Korean. Specifically, negatives would be like putting an before the verb or attaching ji, an, ta. And I've also done lessons on this before. There's a video on my channel, and I did a full live stream about how to make negatives. You should know how to do negative verbs, but this would be more for if you're an intermediate level. So if you're not an intermediate level, then you won't be able to use this form with negatives. You won't need to use this form with negatives at all. So yeah, if you're an intermediate level and you want to get the most out of this lesson, know how to use negative verbs. So this is the one I would say is the most important for today, really. Conjugating verbs, all types of verbs as adjectives. And by that, I mean conjugating all types of verbs so that you can use them directly in front of a noun. So if you're good with this, you will most likely already know these as well, because this is not a very, very low beginner form. I'd say this is more of a high beginner concept. So if you can do this, then you can probably already do the other ones. So those are the prerequisites. So let's check the chat for a moment, see how many people just left, and then we'll get started. Let's see. I like listening even above my level though. Yeah, that's fine. And you can stay here whatever, no matter your level. I'm not gonna kick you out or anything like that. Just so you know. This is also kind of an experiment because I've never done an advanced Korean lesson in live streams before. So I'd be curious to see how many people stick around, if you guys like this type of level, if I should ever do any more advanced live streams. Personally, I'm fine teaching Korean all the way up to an advanced level, but I normally don't because there's not enough people that are at that current level that would be able to do a live stream for. So I've typically done mostly beginner level or with this new season, some intermediate concepts. So if you guys are fine with an advanced level lesson, we can do them more often. I just want to make sure that I'm making as many people as possible happy with these lessons. Well, I think I got a little like a piece of dust on the lens. Oh, there we go. Higher level. But I know there are a lot of people who do like advanced lessons. The reason being, Ibrahim, I'll get to your question in a second. The reason being there aren't very many advanced topics out there. Like there aren't that many advanced level lessons at all in Korean. Like Talk to Me in Korean has some. I know that other websites will have some, but typically that's the most underserved level of Korean is once you get to the advanced level or even high intermediate, you're kind of just thrown on your own because you can do anything you want at that point. But there aren't very many lessons to teach you advanced grammar that you might want to know. Like you'll see some difficult grammar form and you won't have any way to learn that unless you just go on Korean websites, like Korean dictionaries, and you can learn that. Now, that's what I can do because I use Korean dictionaries all the time. But for someone who's just entered the advanced level, that's kind of difficult to feel like you're just thrown into this whole world of only Korean stuff now. You don't have any more help. No one can hold your hand anymore. So that's why there aren't very many advanced level lessons out there. So this will be one. First thing that came to mind when I saw the title was Mamamoo's Windflower. 잘해주지 못했는지. Yeah, that is the same form. 못했는지 is today's form. That's the right thing. The 잘해주지 isn't that's part of the 지 못하다, but the 못했는지, that is part of today's form that we're going to be learning today. So you will understand that line by the end of today's lesson. Ibrahim asked, is there a pronunciation difference between and a? Traditionally, yes. And until even maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago, it was a little bit bigger. Even when I was learning Korean over 13 years ago for the first time, I was taught that, and by Korean people, that a and a had slightly different pronunciations. These days, no. You can say them both as e, both the same way. But originally, they slightly have, and officially, they still do, but no one actually pronounced them differently anymore. They're pretty much the exact same. But if you really want to get nitpicky, the first one is just said like while is said slightly with wider lips. So it gives a little bit different of a sound when you say it, but you don't have to do that, and no one will know the difference anymore. They are, for all intents and purposes, they're the exact same nowadays. I'm thinking of 어디서 왔는지. Yeah, that would be this form too. We'll talk about that as well. That will be in the intermediate part. Okay, so with that, it is now 2:00. So let's get started, everyone. The first thing we're going to be learning about is the beginning level usage of this form. So if you're still a beginner and you just heard my long spiel about how only advanced people will get a lot out of this lesson, that's not really true. But beginners can still use this form too, but you're limited in what you can do. So 어떻게. 어떻게 is an adverb, means how. 어떻게 means how, as in like, how do you do something? How do I go there? How do you know? How do I know? Oh, I can't sing that song. Disney will claim this video. Okay, so you take an action verb stem. Action verb stem. And then you attach 는지. 는지. Now what this does is, you might think it's 는지. All it is, so it looks deceptive. It's all it is 지, and then the action verb stem. The action verb has been turned into an adjective. So if you remember from our lessons, we talked about how to turn an action verb like 하다 into an adjective, becoming 하는. That's all this is. So 하다 would again become 하는 plus 지. So whether you want to think about it as adjective plus 지 or action verb stem plus 는지, it's the exact same thing. This is just for beginners because it's a little more easy to grasp if they don't know how to conjugate. If a beginner doesn't know how to conjugate adjectives like that yet, which they wouldn't, then this is easier to learn. So you do that, and then you attach, optionally, the object marker, though often it's not used, and then finally, 알다, to know, or 모르다. Well, let me just see if I can adjust this a little bit. or 모르다, to not know. So what this means is to know or not know, whether you're using with 알다 or 모르다, how to do something. How to, verb. So whatever this verb is, do you know how to do that or not? This is very useful. You might ask someone, do you know how to speak Korean? Do you know, or actually you might want to ask them, if you have to ask that, you probably more likely ask them, do you know how to speak English? Do you know how to go to the subway station? Do you know how to ride a bike? Do you know how I can make a phone call? Do you know how I can order something, right? This is a very useful form. Now there are other ways to say to know how to do something, but this is one of them and it's pretty easy to make. So you take 어떻게, literally meaning how. Action verb stem, so your verb, and then 지. So how to do something, and then follow that by 알다, so conjugate that. You can make it 알아요, I know, or 몰라요, I don't know, if you don't know how to do something. And that's pretty much all there is to it. So I'm going to erase this and I'm going to write some example sentences here. Let's check the stream's looking good. Okay. So the first example sentence is just, do you know how to ride a bike? So let's just do that. Oops. 자전거 means bike. So to say to ride a bike, they say 자전거를 타다. 타다 means to ride a bike. So if you want to say, how do you ride a bike? Or do you know how to ride a bike, basically? It's not used for asking, how do you ride a bike? You can just say, 자전거를 어떻게 타요? Literally, if you just want to say, how do you ride a bike? No, we're asking if you know or don't know how to ride a bike. In which case, 자전거를 어떻게 타는지. So 타다는지, and then 알아요. Or you could just say 알아요 if you do know. So 자전거를 어떻게 타는지 알아요. Do you know how to ride a bike? So since 어떻게 is an adverb, it has to go directly before the verb. Well, it does. It'll go directly before the verb. The verb is 타다. So 어떻게 타다. It won't be 어떻게 자전거를 타는지. It's 자전거를 어떻게 타는지. 알아요? So do you know how to ride a bike? 어떻게 타는지. In fact, this form is so well understood in Korea, and it's so useful in Korea. If you were to just say 어떻게 타는지 by itself, just this, they would know. And if you're talking about a bicycle, there's a bicycle in front of you, and you just say 어떻게 타는지, they'll assume you mean you don't know. It's like, how do I ride this bike? Because they hear this G ending, and they know that it means something is not known. You're talking about some unknown information. So whether you know that unknown information or you don't know, 몰라요, that unknown information, this is what it's used to mean. So what I'm trying to say is this form will be used a lot, and we'll see how it can be used, but this is the most basic version of this form. Okay, we're doing okay on time. Next sentence. I have to do a few sentences. It will be impossible for me to cover every single example sentence I have on the outline because there's like 50 of them. But I'll try to do as much as possible so that you guys can follow along. What if you want to say, I don't know how to go to Seoul Station. So I want you guys to try writing this. I'll give you the words. 서울역 means Seoul Station. 역 is attached to a name, proper noun to make the word station. So Seoul Station. 가다 is to go. I'm not going to write that. And then, yeah, that's all I'm going to write. All I'm going to give you is Seoul Station. So how would you say, do you know how to go to Seoul Station? Go ahead and try it. And I'm going to start writing it here, but try to write it in chat on your own. I'll slowly write it up here. Oops, let me write that again. Squeaky, squeaky. And then I'm going to look and see how many of you guys got it right. Although there's a lot of ways you could ask that. I'll just do it with 알아요 to be simple. Okay, let's see. Okay. Did anyone get it? 하루김, 서울역에 어떻게 가는지 알아요? Nice. 하루김 got it perfectly. I don't know if you're Korean though. 한국 사람이세요? 서울역에 어떻게 가는지 알아요? Yep, and Mary Liz, you got it too. 서울역에 어떻게 가는지 아세요? 아세요 is totally fine too. That's honorific and actually better than 알아요 if you're asking a stranger. I didn't put it in here just to keep things simple, but yeah, that would be much better. 어떻게 서울역에 가는지를 알아요? Vincent, you want to move 어떻게 directly before the verb, since it's an adverb. But what you wrote would still be understood and still would make sense. 서울역까지 어떻게 가는... Flying Icarus. You just have one typo. You wrote 가는지 instead of 가는지. But yeah, you wrote 서울역까지, which is totally fine too. Some kind of unicorn. Nice, nice. Okay. Yeah, you guys, for the most part, you guys have got it. So this form is, as you can see, it's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. You just attach 어떻게 directly to the verb, stem, attach 는지, and then 알다 or 모르다, and some sort of conjugation of that. So let's move on then. Let's do one more. Alrighty here. Actually, let's change this to 몰라요. Oops. So this is something you could probably say to your 55-year-old mother when she asks you to send an email for her. Say, computer, 어떻게 쓰는지 몰라요? You don't know how to use a computer? Okay, don't say that to your mom. That's mean. 컴퓨터를 어떻게 쓰는지 몰라요? So you don't know how to use a computer? Literally. 컴퓨터를 어떻게 쓰는지 몰라요? Do you not know how to use a computer? So this is the last example I wanted to give you guys because really this form, that's all there is to it. We can go a little further and give some more examples with this form, but that's pretty much it. Just asking, do you know, or saying that you know or don't know how to do something, and that something can be any sort of verb. Do you know how to cook? Do you know how to do it? Do you know how to learn Korean? Do you know how to use a keyboard? Anything like that. So that was the first level. And we need to go on to the second level because it does get a little bit more difficult. And the second level is still beginner level. So if you're a beginner, you can still stick around. But it is a little bit more detail about how we can use this form. So what you can actually do is you can use this same form. So action verb stem. I'll try AVS. 는지 알다 or 모르다, just like before. But you can use this without the 어떻게. So now we don't have to know how. Sorry. Now we don't have to know how to do something, but now we have a slightly different meaning. This means whether or if. To know whether or if. Now, this G literally does not mean whether or if at all. What it actually means, and I know this might sound cryptic, but this will help you later on. It's very confusing sounding if this is your first time hearing this, but this will help you. This G actually means an unknown piece of information. So let's write that clear. This G actually means some sort of unknown or uncertain piece of information. So before we had 어떻게 가는지. We translated that as how to go. 어떻게 가는지 알아요. I know how to go. What it literally means and what this G actually means, and if you know this, this will really help you later on, is the information of how to go. Before we had to Seoul Station. So the information that is unknown, how to go to Seoul Station. So now we have, do you know the unknown information of a verb? And this unknown information is whether or not someone does something. So you can think of this here as translating as whether if, or whether or not, like that. But the reason is because this ji means that this information, whether you're doing this verb or not, whatever something about that verb is unknown, whether the person is doing it or not. So before we had 어떻게 가는지, it's unknown information how to do it or how to go. Now we have unknown, just some unknown information, which translates in English naturally as whether or if. But if you think of this meaning as unknown information, it will help you later when we transform this one more time. Because if you think of this as only just meaning whether or if, you're going to have a bad time, as they say in South Park. So let's talk about how we can use this form. And this form is really useful also. We're no longer limited to just saying how, but this exact same form. So you don't have to learn a new form. Today, that's the nice thing about today's lesson is you only learn one form and you can use it many different ways. So now we don't have to use 어떻게. You can say something like, I don't know whether, or I do know whether Charsu likes BTS. Let's make sure we're all good in the stream. Okay, so we can say something like this. Charsu가 BTS. I'll put the object marker there. Then we have 좋아하다. Normally you could say 좋아해요, right? So normally you could say something like this. 철수가 BTS를 좋아해요. 철수 likes BTS. Well, now what if we want to say, I don't know whether, or I don't know if, same translation, whether or if. I don't know if, oh, and this is not if, as in if you do something, I will go, or if you do that. It's not that. It's just whether meaning of if, like whether or not, or if or not. So you could say 철수가 BTS를 좋아하는지 몰라요. Or just 몰라. If you're speaking casually. So 철수가 BTS를 좋아하는지 몰라요. I don't know this unknown information, right? So think of it like this. Unknown information. 좋아하는지. It is unknown that he likes something. So it is unknown that he does this verb or whatever does this verb, right? So it is unknown about that and I don't know it. So that's kind of one way to think about this. And I know it sounds really awkward and out there to think of it like to not know an unknown information about this verb. But if you're above the beginner level, please think of it like that and just translate it as whether or if in your sentences, because it will really help for the next part that we have to do, where it will not translate as whether or if. And your mind will just blow up if you think of it like that. So please translate it as unknown information, some sort of unknown information, and just write it as whether or if. So I don't know whether or if, I don't know whether BTS likes Charsu. BTS does not like Charsu. I don't know whether or not Charsu likes BTS. Okay, I know we got to keep going, but I do want to take a quick moment and check the chat for a minute, just because I want to make sure we're still on the same page. So I'll just check for a second. We're all good. Okay. Hey, whoa, BTS likes everyone, Billy. Okay, they probably like some guy out there named Charsu. You're probably right. Okay. Basically like saying to know an unknown piece of information. Yes, that's right. Throwaway, yes. Throwaway's common is. So it's basically like saying to know or to not know an unknown piece of information. That is Charsu liking BTS. Perfect. Throwaway has a very nice comment. So if you think of it like that, the next, not the very next form, but the next form will actually make sense, because that was one of the hardest things when I was learning about this in Korean, was trying to translate whether or if and then change it to this new meaning that it didn't seem to have. Oh, whoa, that startled me. That legit scared me because I saw it reflected in the camera. I was like, what is that? Oh, Darling Hope. Funnily enough, BTS has a song called 어디에서 왔는지. Oh yeah, we'll talk about that. Don't worry. Let me just write your name up here. Darling Hope with a $2 donation. Darling Hope 2. And I'll do a dab. I've got my paper this time in my hand because there's so many example sentences. Normally I just kind of wing it. So the next thing though is I want to do one more example. And do you know if it's okay to do it? Actually, let's not do that. Let's keep things beginner for right now. So let's say, do you know if Charsu is also studying Korean? So, do you know if, try to write this yourself. Do you know if Charsu is also, so Charsudo, do you know if Charsu is also studying Korean? Try that on your own, and I'm going to write it up here. Okay, let me read, see what you guys got, if anyone got that. Oh, wait, Haru Kim. Haru Kim. The board didn't flash. Oh, there it goes. Oh, that scared me. Haru Kim. Why is it all red? I appreciate your lessons. Keep up the good work. Yeah, thank you, Haru Kim. I appreciate it too. Haru Kim with a $4 donation. That buys you guys another few seconds to try writing your sentences. Let's check to see what you guys have. 찰수도 한국어 공부하는지 아세요? Yes, Dr. Nutria, that's fine too. If you didn't use the progressive, that's okay. Amarilis used the progressive as well, which is perfect, which is what I was hoping, but it's not necessary because, you know, regular present tense can also mean the progressive. 찰수도 한국어를 공부하고 있는지 알아요. Yes, nice. 찰수도 한국어 공부하는지 알아요. 공부하고 있는지, 공부는지. Some kind of unicorn you're missing 하는지. You just wrote 는지. And you wrote 공부. Other than that typo, the rest of it's, oh, and you wrote jarsu. So I think it's just some typos. But other than that, other than your typos, so other than your typos, your grammar is fine. 한국말 공부하는지 알아요? Yes, nice. 선수, oh, Park Jae-soo, you wrote 선수. 한국어를 공부하는지 알아요? The rest of it's fine. So you just have one typo for his name. Oh yeah, I see, you wrote that. 철수, yes. 철수도 한국어를 공부하는지 알아요? Okay, nice. All right, I'm pretty happy then. I was worried that I would already lose you guys, but you're pretty good. I think you guys are good. So let's move on to the next form. Let's level up here. And the next level is intermediate. So let's step foot in intermediate ground. Oh, yes. Okay. Oh, yes. The next thing I wanted to say is, so remember this form I said is action verb stem plus nunji. Well, let's simplify that because adjective, and by adjective I don't mean descriptive verb. I mean any verb, action or descriptive, changed into an adjective. Oh, now we learned about this a few weeks ago in a live stream. But you can use that, you can use any adjective you want. And that's kind of important. That's kind of an important distinction because this means you can use any tense that you want. So we're still doing 알다 and 모르다. We'll do something else later. But now you can do the adjective in any tense. Any tense you want, past, present, or future. So the past tense will always look like this. So it'll have some sort of ending, and then we'll end with these two at the bottom, and then 는지. The future tense can be something like 겠는지, right? There's a little more we'll talk about soon. But you can use this. This is our next step, and this is an intermediate level. So you can use this adjective in any tense that you want. And there's a lot of options you have for this. We'll talk about just these for right now, and then I'll talk about some more in a minute. So you can say something like, do you know if Charsu is studying Korean, which is what we already did, 공부하고 있는지 or 공부하는지. You can also say, try this on your own. You can also say, do you know if Charsu studied Korean in the past tense? Go ahead and try that on your own while I write it up here. So do you know if Charsu also, so now we have Charsu도. Do you know if Charsu also studied Korean? So we're going to have mostly the same. Instead of 공부하는지, we're going to have 공부했는지. Now, the past tense conjugation for an adjective the past tense conjugation for an action verb will be this one, this ending as I showed you with the 2 letters, and then 는지, always. So 했는지. To make that, if you're wondering, you take the 요 form, you minus the 요, and you attach these 2 at the bottom. So that's how you get the start of the past tense conjugation, and then you attach 는지, just like right here. So 공부했는지, and then you can say 알아요, or 몰라요, or whatever you want to ask or say. 철수도 한국어를 공부했는지 알아요? Do you know if, or do you know whether, either one, do you know whether Charsu also studied Korean? Let's see if anyone got that. Oh, Amariliz, you were fast. Let's see if anyone else got it before you. No, Amariliz, you were the first one. Darling Hope, 찰스도 한국어를 공부했는지? 찰스도 한국어를 공부했는지? Nice, nice. 찰스 한국어를 공부했는지? 찰스도 한국어를 공부했는지? To Sink Brewery, where is Bill? I'm right here. 찰스도 한국어를 공부했는지? 몰라요? You don't know if Charsu studied Korean? Yeah, that's nice, Jason Pan. And you guys can kind of change the verb specifically, the verb tense, or how you want to say it. That's okay too. And we'll learn about more ways to work with this. Yeah, Marilis, you're really fast. You guys are doing really good. I'm reading most of your tries here, and they're accurate. I'm trying to find if anyone was making an... oh, Tessa S, that was correct. Tessa, I was just reading that, and it looked fine. 공부하고 있었는지 is fine too. Was he studying Korean? Like, was he doing that? Which is fine too. 철수 한국어를 공부했는지 알아요? Wonder what's wrong with the bot. Is the bot not working right now? Okay, next time I give you guys a example, I'll go check the bot. Because it might be down. I don't know. Okay, so we've done this now with other tenses, but let's go on. So let's go on one more step. So now we're in intermediate middle. So this is mid-intermediate now, okay? The next step is not only can you use any tense. So we have past tense, like 는지, future tense, so let's just write this, past tense, present tense. Present tense would be 는 with an action verb, as we learned, or the or this one with G with a descriptive verb. Sorry, I know I wrote this kind of messy. So action verb would be 는지, and descriptive verb would be or the 니은지. Or if you have a descriptive verb that ends with this letter, hold on, I'm going to do this really quick. Then you remove this letter and you add this, remember? As I taught before. So this would be unji if it ends in this letter and it's descriptive verb. So this descriptive verb, this action verb, and then let's see who gave the chat donation before I go on to the next form. Darling Hope, do you have a recommendation for a good Korean keyboard because it's taking me forever to answer? Do you use Windows or Mac? Windows, the Korean IME, the free Korean keyboard, is actually the best. Darling Hope, but thank you. Let me just add that up here. I can do 2 plus 5. I'm good at math. 2 plus 5 is 7. Ha. But yeah, I would just say use the keyboard that's already in your computer. I wouldn't go out and buy a separate Korean keyboard, but you could get Korean stickers. I don't use them, but you could get Korean keyboard stickers for about $1 or $2 on eBay. I'd recommend buying them from eBay because they're dirt cheap, but they might take a while to come from China. But yeah, I would say definitely put the Korean IME keyboard on your computer, and it's free and you can do it with any computer. And Mac has another option similar to that, I know. Okay, so any adjective, that means you can conjugate any tense of any adjective or from any type of verb, action verb or descriptive verb. So now we're in the mid-intermediate level. Let me give you some more examples. So we have this 는지 as an example. For the future tense, we also have a few more options. Let me write them up here because you've got this form. It's the same form we've been learning the whole time. Future tense, you have several options. You can do 겠는지 with from the 겠다, well, 하겠습니다, that ending. So you can do 겠는지. You can also just do the regular 을 or 리을 ending directly onto a verb stem and then plus G. So 하다 can become 할지, 먹다, to eat, can become 을지. There's more options though. If you're going to be using the future tense with 것이다, you know the 것이다 ending to be like 할 거예요 comes from this 것이다, 거예요 ending. Well, for that, you can also do the same exact thing. So you have that ending, 거, and then 이다, 것이다, like 거예요. 이다 would become, in this case, 건지. Or if you want to keep it as 것이다, it can be 것인지, though that's not as common. 건지 is probably really common though. So this is a lot to write down because there's a lot of ways you can possibly conjugate an adjective in Korean, depending on what tense you want. So let me give you one example. Let's just do 하다. 하다, to do. And then I'll do 덥다, to be hot. 덥다, to be hot, which is a descriptive verb. So first let's do the action verb 하다. So we have, let's remove these so you can kind of see what it looks like. Okay, 하겠는지. Whether or not, or whether or if, I will do, or he will do. 할지. These are both future. 할지. Same thing. Whether or if he will do. 할 건지 and 할 것인지. These are all future. 하겠는지, 할지, 할 것인지, 할 건지. Whether or not, or whether if he will do something, or I will do something like that. 좋아할지. So I don't know if 철수 likes BTS. 철수가 BTS를, I don't know if he will like BTS. 좋아하겠는지, 좋아할지, 좋아할 건지, 좋아할 것인지. And then 몰라요. You can pick any of these four. They'll all have the same meaning of future tense, just depending which one you want. If you want to know a really quick one that you can use, just use this one. Just use the 을 or lir plus g. Just do this one. It's a little bit simpler to use and faster, I think. But you can use any form you want for future tense. For past tense you can do any form as well. So you have 했는지. That's pretty much it for action verbs. For descriptive verbs, you want to do, if we're going to do 덥다 for was hot, you can say it was hot. So I don't know whether it was hot would be 덥다. You remove the P and you add U. So 더우. And then you conjugate it like past tense, like regular. 더웠어요 normally, right? It was hot. 더웠어요. Well, the stem is just 더웠. So 더웠는지. 더웠는지. 더웠는지, whether it was hot. Like, I don't know if it was hot. I wasn't there. If maybe you say, hey, was yesterday hot weather? You say, oh, I don't know if it was hot. 더웠는지 몰라요. I don't know if it was hot. I don't know whether it was hot. Like that. Present tense, we already learned it. 는지. If it's a descriptive verb though, like let's take, well, we can do 덥다 first. So normally you would say 더운, like something that's hot. 더운 날씨, hot weather. Well, now it's just 더운지. That's it. So you just take an adjective and attach G. If we did it with a different verb, like let's say 착하다, to be nice, 착하다, would become 착한지, like that. So 착한, normally you'd say 착한 사람, 착한 남자, nice person, nice guy. Now you have 착한지, a nice G. I don't know what that means. But yeah, so whether he's nice. So if you say, hey, do you know, is 철수 nice? You can say 철수가 착한지 or 착한 사람인지 몰라요. I don't know if 철수 is a nice person or not. So let me write that sentence. So we're still in the middle intermediate level. Let me just check the chat for a second, make sure everyone's okay. When is Billy going to start using me for these BTS hypotheticals? Okay, we'll do this. A 희망. So I'll just take A. A가. Let's use 친절하다. 친절하다 is like friendly. So 친절하다. So A가 친절한. So now we have an adjective, friendly. But let's say, I don't know if, let's not say, I don't know if A is nice and friendly. Let's say, I don't know if A is a nice person. So we're going to say nice person. 친절한 사람. Now, how would we then add in, because we've already used 친절하다 before 사람, how would we then add in this G ending? Well, we just use, normally you would say 이에요. A가 친절한 사람이에요. A is a nice person, but now we're going to use this 이다 to be with G. So 인지. 몰라요. A가 친절한 사람인지 from 이다. 몰라요. I don't know whether or if A is a nice person. So you can use this G also with 이다, just to be, if you want to use it after a noun. So noun plus 이다. If you want to say, I don't know, actually, let me pose this question to you. How would I say, I don't know if A was a good person? Was. How would you say that? I want to check your guys' understanding of this concept. So how would you say, I don't know if A was a nice person? What would I put in here? Something, something G, right? So what would I put in here? You don't have to write the whole sentence. You can just write what goes in here if you want. Let's see, is Amaryllis going to win again? Nope, 인지. 인지 is, yeah, so 인지 is present. Amaryllis. Not 이었는지, it's 이었는지. There's just one of those letters. So, close, Amaryllis, close. Let's see who got it first then. Jason Pan. Jason Pan got it. 이었는지. 이었는지. Because normally you would say 이었어요. So the ending is that two letters here, so you just attach 는지. Nice job, Jason Pan. So yes, A가 or 철수 or whoever BTS Jimin member, whoever you like, 친절한 사람이었는지, so if he or she was, whatever, a nice person. I don't know. So let's check the time, 2:35. Okay, we're actually doing okay. I was really stressed we wouldn't be able to make the time, but we're actually doing okay. The only reason we're doing okay, I swear, is because you guys are good. You guys are getting it, actually. So now let's go on to a level. So we're at mid-intermediate. Now let's go on to a level where you guys might not get it. Okay. Let me give you the sentence. I'll do one more example with this. So, like I said, any verb, any tense, with G, without using 어떻게. So that's where we've gotten so far. So you don't have to use 어떻게. You don't have to use action verbs. You can use descriptive verbs, and you don't have to only use present tense. You can use past or future tense. So let's do one more example. Let's say, do you know whether it will be hot tomorrow too? So you can say 내일도, so also tomorrow. 덥다, like we just learned. So normally if you wanted to say it will be hot, you would say 더울 거예요, as we already learned in a previous lesson of future tense. 더울 거야, or whatever. What did I do? 더울 거예야. What was that? 더울 거야. So it will be hot. So now you're going to say 더울 instead of 거예요, because this is the same thing. This is also an adjective. It's a future tense adjective. So this is the mid-intermediate concept that you're just learning now, is that this lir attaching here is what's called or the past tense version, whatever, is a different tense of an adjective. So not only can you do present tense adjectives, but you can do past tense adjectives and future tense adjectives. So you just take any adjective, any tense, and you attach 지. So 내일도 더울지. Then you can just say, let me throw a fastball at you. Or I guess you call, let me throw a curveball. 내일도 더울지 알고 싶어요. Ooh, we can do more stuff with this 알다 and 모르다 part than just saying I do know or I don't know. It's a little bit more higher than mid-intermediate, so we're going to go on. We're going to work on this a little bit next. So, I want to know whether or if tomorrow will be hot also. Let me just check the chat to see if you guys got something like that. If anyone got that. 내일도, oh, I see only one person wrote it. I don't think I was very clear then. I must have not been clear at all. Maybe I didn't even say try it on your own. 내일도 더울지 알아요. Noah Deeps, yes, that would be fine too. 내일도 더울지 알고 싶어요. Billy awesome였는지 알아요. I know that Billy was awesome. Was? Come on. Okay, so I've just given you guys a revelation. If you've never seen this form already, okay, then you're probably thinking, wait, I can use this with more than just saying I do know or I don't know. I can use this to say other things too, because clearly here we can say, I want to know. Can you guys write in the chat, what else do you think we can use this for? What other verbs besides 알다 and 모르다 do you think that we could use for this form? I just want to know what you guys think, because that's the next part we're going to do. What other verbs do you think we could use besides know and not know? There's a lot. Let's see. Let's see what you guys wrote. Merlis, ask if. Yes. You can ask. You can ask whether. You can ask if. Muku. Muku. Say my name. Okay, because, oh, hold on. I'll go over this one more second. Muku, thanks for the $2 donation. I got your name right. I'll just write it here as Muku. Okay. I just ate 2 hours ago and 지금 다시 배고파요. You're hungry again? Oh yeah, and a dab. All right. Thank you, Muku. All right, so you can use actually any verb that has to do with, this is why I told you this before, some sort of unknown information. So you can't say 내일도 더울지 가고 싶어요 or 하고 싶어요. Like I want to do or I want to go or 했어요 or anything like that, because that logically makes no sense because we're talking about some sort of unknown piece of information. So what could you do with an unknown piece of information? It's going to be something that has to do with knowing or not knowing, but you have other verbs you can choose, such as Amaryllis wrote, you can ask, you can want to know, you can tell someone, you can inform someone, you can teach someone, or you can even be curious about that unknown information if tomorrow is going to be hot as well. So 내일도 더울지 궁금해요. 궁금하다 means to be curious, and it's a descriptive verb. 궁금해요. So 궁금하다 would become 궁금해요. 내일도 더울지 궁금해요. I am curious whether tomorrow will be hot also. Or, what about this? 알려주세요. Please let me know. Please, 알리다, 알려주다, is to let someone know or to inform someone. So please let me know if tomorrow will be hot too. What about this? 비가 오다 is to rain. So 내일도 비 올지. So it will rain. Whether it will rain, please inform me. Please tell me if it will rain tomorrow too. You could say something like this if you're scheduling an appointment and maybe you're talking with someone who knows the weather really well. You say 내일도 비 올지 알려줘. 얘기해 주세요. Please tell me. 궁금해요. Or maybe even something like 말해 주세요. Or 말해줘. 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 말해줘요. Something like that. Please tell me, please say if it will rain tomorrow too. So we can do a lot of other verbs, or even, let's see. Let's go back. Actually, let's go back. So let's go back to our other form. 제가, our very first form. 한국어를, because it's all the same form. I just want to show you it's the same form. 제가 한국어를 어떻게 let's do how can I learn Korean? 배우다. So 배울 수 있는지. So how I can. So 배울 수 있다. Which is why this is intermediate, because you also have to know the 수 있다 form as to can. So let's go back to our very first form. 제가 한국어를 어떻게 배울 수 있는지 몰라요. So I don't know how I can. 배울 수 있다 would be I can learn. So I don't know how I can learn Korean. I just said we can change around what verb we use. We don't have to say 알아요 or 몰라요, right? Well, what else can you say in English? If you were to say something like how I can learn Korean. I want to know, right? You can say I want to know how I can learn Korean, right? 알고 싶어요. 알고 싶어요. I want to know 제가 한국어를 어떻게 배울 수 있는지 알고 싶어요. I want to know how I can learn Korean. But then can't we also say something like this? 가르쳐 주세요. 가르치다 meaning to teach. So 가르쳐 주세요 meaning please teach me how I can learn Korean. You see how useful this form can be and how it stacks on top of each other? That we had this very basic form, like how to do something. And now we can go from there to 제가 한국어를 어떻게 배울 수 있는지 가르쳐 주세요. Or 말해 주세요. Please tell me. Or 알려주세요. Please let me know. Or 궁금해요. I am curious how I can learn Korean. 제가 한국어를 어떻게 배울 수 있는지 궁금해요. I'm curious. I want to know. So you have a lot of options. And there's other verbs you can use too, but these are just some of the most common ones that you would do. Maybe you can say you're worried if it's going to rain tomorrow. You can say you're curious about whether he likes me. Any sort of unknown information. Any sort of unknown information and anything that you could do with that. So you could tell someone information. You can find out. You could teach. You could say. Anything like that you can use as a verb with this G form. And 어떻게 literally just means how. So this was just the most basic form, but it can be used in other ways too. So let's take a 1-minute break and let me check the chat and make sure you guys are okay. I know I can slowly see some people slowly leaving the chat, but that's okay. Only stick around as far as you feel comfortable. And at the end of this, we'll also do some open question time because I want to let you guys have some time to ask me questions about this because it's not, this is the first time I will admit this topic is a bit tricky because I have to explain it by teaching it's an unknown piece of information and that's a vague way of explaining it, but that is what it means. Can you say that sentence without 어떻게? Daniel O'Brien said, can you say the sentence without 어떻게? So let's just say 제가 한국어를 배울 수 있는지 가르쳐 주세요. Yes, but what would it mean? I want you to guess, what would it mean if you said it without 어떻게? Daniel O'Brien, what do you think it would mean? Or what do you guys think it would mean if I didn't say 어떻게 here? 제가 한국어를 배울 수 있는지 가르쳐 주세요. Oh, 아이스보. 안녕하세요. 답 앉으세요. 52벙커가 52벙커 BTS를 좋아하는지 몰라요. I don't know if BTS Bunker likes I mean I don't know if 52 Bunker likes BTS. Sorry, I was getting the confused. Icepo, thank you. Let's put that in the pound thing. I'm going to do a dab for that. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And nice job writing that message in Korean. There's some typos I could fix over later, but I understand what you're trying to say. Vincent Kozo. Oh, hold on. Let me do a dab first. Oh, that's what you're trying to write. Dab. You're trying to say don't do a dab. Okay. I wasn't sure whether you're trying to say don't give me the top. Top means answer, but you're trying to say dab, a dab. Okay, I won't do that. That was close. I almost just dabbed. Yes, Daniel O'Brien, you're correct. Vincent Kozo, you're right as well. Teach me whether I can learn. So let me just show this again. I know I'm really beating it down when I say it's unknown piece of information, but the unknown information is I can learn Korean. 한국어를 배울 수 있는지. This is unknown. So I don't know, or it's unknown whether I can learn Korean. Teach me. Teach me. This piece of information is unknown. Like whether I can learn Korean or can't learn Korean. I don't know. No one knows. Teach me. So teach me whether or teach me if I can learn Korean. So if you remove 어떻게, we get this. Well, okay, Daniel O'Brien, I have a question back at you. What other word can I put here? Daniel, we just removed this 어떻게. What's going on now? We have this kind of floating off here now. So please tell me, or please teach me, whether I can learn Korean. What else can we put in here? Teach me how? Teach me. Yeah. Park Jae-soo got it. Amaryllis got it. 얼마나? Yeah, Jenya, you got it too. You can put 얼마나 in there. You can put anything you desire. Anything you desire that could be used as an adverb. You know, anything that would affect this verb in some way. So you can say 제가 한국어를 어디에서. So 어디서. Where? At where? Please teach me. Actually, let's change this from teach me to just tell me, because that way we can do some more options with it. So let's change it to 말해주세요. 말해주세요. Okay? So now we can do a little more with it. So please tell me where I can learn Korean. So learning Korean is this unknown fact of learning Korean, this unknown information that has to do with learning Korean. Where can I do it? Tell me. Where can I learn Korean? 제가 한국어를 어디서 배울 수 있는지 말해주세요. Now we've actually just jumped ahead a little bit because I wasn't going to go over this usage of it until next, but I think it's okay. We're doing okay on time. Let's see what you guys wrote. Also, Janya suggested this. What would this mean? I don't think you would say this unless you're like, how much Korean can I learn in an hour? Like if you were to add in a time frame. 제가 한국어를 얼마나 means how much. 얼마나 배울 수 있는지 말해주세요. Please tell me how much Korean can I learn? Now, you wouldn't say that usually. You'd probably say something like 제가 1시간 안에, within 1 hour, 한국어를 얼마나 배울 수 있는지 말해주세요. Please tell me how much Korean I can learn within 1 day or within 1 hour, something like that. But yes, absolutely, you can say 얼마나. If you want to schedule an appointment with your Korean teacher and they say when, you can say 언제. When can I learn Korean? So the reason I wasn't going to do this the reason I wasn't going to do this until the next section is because ask yourself this question. What happened to whether or if? Where did this go? Where is whether or if in this sentence? It's gone. It doesn't exist in English. See, whether or if was never a translation for this G form in the first place, which is why I didn't want you guys to get attached to it too much. 제가 한국어를 언제 배울 수 있는지. Please tell me when. Please tell me when I can learn Korean. It's more confusing to think of it like whether or if in this case. Now, it translates to whether or if a lot of times, often. You'll see it used to mean whether or if all the time, but that's not really what it means. What it really means is, as someone in the chat put it earlier, I can't remember who it was or exactly what they wrote, but I thought it's pretty good. So the unknown information of the verb. So whether or not, or if at all, I can learn Korean. If so, where? So this is unknown. What is unknown? Well, can I learn Korean? If you say 알아요, then you're like, no, I know that piece of unknown information, actually. I know how to learn Korean. I know that I can learn Korean. But all it is some sort of unknown piece of information. So we can replace this with any sort of adverb, 언제. you can also replace it with other words entirely, and I'll show you an example of that. Let's see. Do I have to go into the next one? Okay, yeah. Let's continue with this a little bit more because I think I don't want to go too fast. 2:52. Okay, we're okay on time, but I don't want to go too fast. I want to make sure we really get this. And if you want some more examples, join my Patreon page. It's $1 a month. You can just join once and then you can cancel, but you'll get access to all of every single one of the outlines. And today's outline especially has a lot of verbs, a lot of examples on it that I don't have time to do all today. I'm just really glad you guys are all getting it. So you can say something like this. So 화장실 is bathroom, of course. So what if you want to say, what if you want to ask someone, where's the bathroom? In Korean, normally you would just say 화장실이 어디예요? 어디 있어요? Or something like that, right? 어디예요 or 어디 있어요 are both okay in this example. So where is the bathroom? But what if you want to just tell someone, so this might not be the most natural way you would speak in English, right? If you walk up to someone and you say, where is the bathroom? You might. And when you're a beginner, that's all you can do. And it's okay. But so now you want to get a little better. You want to sound more natural. So instead of just saying, excuse me, where is the bathroom? You want to say, excuse me, do you know where the bathroom is? How would you say that? Go ahead and give it a try. You have all the pieces. I've given you all the pieces. Give it a try, and I'll write it up here, though. Do you know where is the bathroom? Do you know where the bathroom is? Go ahead and try to write it. Then I'm not going to write it first. I'm going to see what you guys write first. I'm curious. I want to know how much you can keep up. Okay, Unicorn Mixer, you are perfect. You got that fast. 화장실이 어디에 있는지 아세요? Yes. 화장실이 어디인지 아세요? Yep, 슈빈's that's nice too. You can say it that way too. 화장실이 어디 있는지 알아요? 화장실이 어디에 있는지 말해주세요. Yes, that's nice too, Amaryllis. Please tell me where is the bathroom. Okay, you guys have got it. So there are many ways you can ask it. Let's see, Duke Fleet. 화장실이 어디인지 아세요? Yes, you can ask that too. 화장실이 어디 있는지 알아요? Yep, you can ask it like that. Oh, Daniel O'Brien. Hey, thanks. Daniel O'Brien. Thanks for the donation. The £2. Amazing how you make Korean easier to understand. Thank you. I appreciate that, Daniel. I like your last name because it reminds me of Conan. Brian, two of the funny looking F's that I keep reading as Franks, but I know they're not Franks because Franks don't exist anymore. Yeah. Let's see. 화장실이 어디 있는지 알아요? 화장실이 어디에 있는지 알아요? 어떻게 가야 되는지 알아요? Yeah, Zemzem, you can say it like that too. Do you know how to go? 화장실에 어떻게 가야 되는지 알아요? And then they will instruct you that you need to go down the hall and to the right. Because it's always down the hall and to the right. Alan, 안녕하세요. 화장실 어디 있는지 알아요? Okay, nice. So yeah, you can say something like 화장실이 어디 있는지. So instead of just 어디 있어요, 어디 있는지. So the information that is unknown is where is the bathroom. And then you can ask them, 아세요 or 알아요? I would recommend, if you can, using honorifics. And I did a live stream lesson all about how to use honorifics and politeness levels that you can check out. The reason is when you're talking to a stranger, you should always be polite to them. It's not rude to say 알아요 to a stranger because you're not a fluent Korean speaker. But as an intermediate level or higher, you really need to be careful about honorifics because the better your Korean gets, the more Koreans will expect you to understand the correct ways to do it. And when you're very beginner, they'll forgive you if you say 알아요. But when you're an intermediate, when you can speak and actually have a conversation, they'll feel like you're being intentionally or intentionally rude to them. So just be careful about that. So it's better to say 아세요 to be honorific when you're talking about them. But if you're still not too good on it, if you're still not too confident about that, it's okay. You won't get beat up for saying 알아요. Okay, so do you know where the bathroom is? And this is actually what I would say if I went to Korea. 혹시 is an adjective that can be used at the start of a sentence or directly before a verb, and it just means by chance. So by chance. 저기요, 혹시, excuse me, by chance, 화장실이 어딘지 아세요? Do you happen to know where the bathroom is by chance? And it's a very polite way. If you say that, the Korean might say, "Omo, wow, your Korean's so good. I didn't expect you to make a regular, natural Korean sentence." Instead of just, maybe they would expect you would just say, 화장실 어디예요? But no, you're like, 혹시 화장실이 어디 있는지 아세요? You have this nice long sentence and they're going to be like, oh, it's down the hall and to the right or something like that. And then when you leave, they'll be like, oh, that foreigner speaks Korean or, whatever. But this is much more natural way of asking instead of just saying, where is the bathroom? But if you're not at least intermediate, you won't really be able to speak that way because it requires really understanding how to use this G. And now, I'll say it again though. This G, while it has lots of uses, the concept itself is extremely basic. But it is impossible to translate it into English because there's nothing like it in English. For me, I honestly just feel G, what it means when I hear it in a sentence. It feels like some sort of unknown information to me. So that's how I immediately can understand it. And Koreans are doing that, of course, even better than I can do it because they're natives. So it's not like some complicated concept of some unknown random information. It's more just an unknown. That verb, whether you do it or not, is unknown. And the meaning of whether or if won't always be in the sentence. Just whether or if that verb, something, someone does it or someone is that verb, exists or does it or not or whatever, is unknown. And that's what the G adds the meaning of. So it is now 3 o'clock. So let's go on to the next topic. Let's see. Oh, yeah. So you can also use this for things like, actually, no, we're not going to go to the next topic yet. We'll stay a little bit longer on this one. I think I want to really, this is the most important part. I really want to really make this clear. So let's do something like, please teach me what it means. Now, if you want to ask something, what does that mean? Sorry, if you want to ask somebody, what does it mean? How would you say it? How do you ask someone, what does it mean? Well, a lot of people, beginners, might use the word "워" for what, but that's wrong. What is a noun? But if you're asking someone what does it mean, you have to use an adjective actually with the word "d" that means meaning. So you want to say what here as an adjective, and the adjective form of what is actually 무슨. So 무슨 뜻이에요? Or something with 이다. So 무슨 뜻입니까? 무슨 뜻이에요? Means what does it mean? So you can just ask someone like this. 무슨 뜻이요? What does it mean? If you see something new you don't know, or they said something you didn't know, maybe they said some word that's like blah, 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 biak, biak. Then you could say, oh, biak. 무슨 뜻이에요? Like, what does biak mean? And then they would say, oh, biak은. Then they would say it doesn't have any meaning or whatever their special meaning is. So this is the normal way to say, what does it mean? Well, now we can also use this to say, I don't know what biak means. So we can say biak and then 무슨 뜻? And we're going to use our G and then we're going to use 몰라요 at the end. I want you guys to figure out what goes here. What goes here? I'll give you a hint. It's very short. 무슨 뜻인지 몰라요. To say, I don't know what biak means. What would you guys put there? Let's see the chat. Yeah, I don't know. It's not Russian. It's just I just made it up. Emeriliz, 무슨 뜻인지 몰라요. Nice. Emeriliz, you got it first, as usual. Why am I not surprised? 그게 무슨 뜻인지 몰라요. 무슨 뜻인지 몰라요. 한국어랑 터키어는 얼마나 비슷한... Zemzem, I think you're trying to say 비슷한지, but it's spelled wrong. 야, 무슨 뜻 있는지 몰라요. I don't know what meaning it has, would be if you said that, no deeps. But it's not what meaning does it have, it's 무슨 뜻인지. So yes, several of you have got it right. You just use the ida verb to be, and you change it to an adjective, which is 인지. What, I don't know, what is 뜻이다, to be the meaning of biak. And I don't know what the meaning of 저도 약 무슨 뜻인지 몰라요. I don't know what 약 means either. But being able to say, I don't know the meaning of something, or ask someone, do you know the meaning of something? 무슨 뜻인지 알아요? Is very useful skill in Korean. So now you can ask people where the bathroom is. You can ask people what something means. You can ask someone to tell you anything you want to know. And we can go further with that. So I remember I said you can also use like 얼마나, 언제, 어디, all that stuff with this. Well, you can also do a little more. So what about this? 철수가 왜, so now we're going to use why. 나가다 means to leave. So 나가는지 알아요? 알아요? Do you know why 철수 left? Do you know why 철수 left? 철수가 왜 나가는지. So whether 철수 left or not is unknown. Do you know? Specifically, do you know why? That's how you can think of it to make more sense about this form. And I promise you that right now while you're learning this, you're kind of half getting it. You're thinking like, oh, I think I get it. Like I get Billy's sentences, but maybe I'm not too confident how I can use it on my own. That's fine. Trust me, I was there. This G, when you've now learned it a little bit, you're going to hear it everywhere. You're going to hear it used everywhere. And you're going to start to feel what this G means, just like I started to feel what the G means before you even yourself fully understand how to use this form. You'll get a feeling for what it means. So yeah, here again, whether or not 철수 left, 나갔는지, this unknown information, did 철수 leave? Do you know it? Specifically, why? Why did 철수 leave? Do you know? Do you know why 철수 left? Do you know when 철수 left? Do you know? What else can we put in here? What time? 몇 시? 몇 시에? 철수가 몇 시에 나가는지 알아요? Do you know what hour? Like what o'clock? Specifically, what time? 몇 시? 몇 시에 나가는지? Do you know what time 철수 left? We can do other stuff here too. 누구랑? With who? Do you know who? Do you know with who 철수 left? So who did 철수 leave with? Do you know? Do you know who 철수 left with? Do you know how 철수 left? Right? Just like before. Okay, well, 철수 went through the front door. Do you know how 철수 left? Do you know why 철수 left? Do you know what time he left? Do you know who he left with? Do you know where he left? I guess that doesn't really make sense. Anything like that. Anything you can think of. I want to know why he left. I want to know what time he left. Please let me know. Please tell me, or I'm going to ask you, or anything like that, what time 철수 left at. And this is the reason this is so difficult to teach is because of how many uses this form has. Let's check the chat for a moment. We're at 3:06. We're doing good. We're doing good, everyone. Did one of the houses around? Oh no, that was my doorbell. But that's okay. I'm sure it was just a package or something. So I ordered a fire extinguisher, which is coming today. So I bet that's probably the fire extinguisher. I have 2 fire extinguishers on each floor. I have a small one in my room here. I have a big one, like a full-sized big fire extinguisher. Well, not huge, but like, full size. That'll be upstairs. And I have one downstairs in the kitchen as well as like a small one. So I was just thinking like, I should probably have some more fire extinguishers. They're good. So yeah, I don't plan to start any fires, but you never know. 불이 날지 모르지. 불이 with optional. 불이 나다 means for there to be a fire. So there will be a fire, or like there is a fire somewhere. So like 불이 났어요 means there was a fire. 불이 날 거예요, there will be a fire. So I could say something like what I just said. 불이 날지 모르지. 모르지. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows if there will be a fire? Who knows whether there will be a fire? Right? Who knows whether there will be a fire? There might be a fire. If there will be a fire, I don't know. Right? 불이 날지 알고 싶어요. I want to know if there will be a fire. 근데 불이 날지 알 수도 Actually, I won't teach that yet. I don't want to confuse you guys. 알 수 없어요. You cannot know. 알 수 없어요. I cannot know if there will be a fire. See how useful this form is? You just throw it into any conversation. It comes up everywhere, literally everywhere. Everyone uses this form. Let's do one more. I won't do that. Let's see. Okay. Do you know how difficult Korean is? Try to say this. Now, we're going to go into advanced now, okay? You might be thinking, oh, I'm good so far. Okay, hopefully you can still stick around. Even if you're not advanced, you might be able to still get something out of this. So, how would I say, do you know how difficult Korean is? And I'll tell you the verbs. 어렵다 is to be difficult. 한국어 or 한국말 is Korean. And that's it. That's all I'm going to tell you. Do you know how difficult Korean is? Oh, and you're going to need 얼마나. For how much. How much. Or well, specific, yeah. How. 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 Tell me how. Let's make that into a song. Tell me how. If there's a fire, go to Billy's house. He has a lot of extinguishers. Yes, I will be prepared. Still, is probably if there's ever a fire, I bet it would be when I'm not home either. So 한국어를 얼마나 unicorn mixture. Your particle is incorrect. The rest of it would be perfect. 한국어를 should be 한국어가 얼마나 어려운지 알아요? And Mariliz, perfect. Hey, Mariliz, you're doing really good at this. 한국어가 얼마나 어려운지 아세요? Ioni mode, nice. 슈빈, 한국어를 you also wrote 한국어를 should be 한국어가. 너 얼마나 예쁜지 모르지? Yeah, it wouldn't be 너를. It would probably be 너가 or something else like that, unless there's different lyrics after that. 한국어는 얼마나 어려운지 아세요? Okay, that's fine. Nocturnuccia. 한국어가 얼마나 어려운지 아세요? 얼마나 한국말. Daniel O'Brien, you want to switch 한국말은 얼마나 because remember that the adverb will come directly before the verb. In this case, 얼마나 would come directly before 어렵다 to be difficult. But the rest of it's fine. 한국어를. A lot of you putting 한국어를 should be 한국어가. The reason is, let me tell you this. 52 bunker, 1 second. If you're saying 알다 or 모르다 or you're curious or what you're curious of is the 지 part. You're not curious about Korean, 한국어를 or anything like that. You're just curious about the 지. Whether or not this information, this is what you want to know. Or if you're curious, 지가 궁금해요. 궁금하다. Whatever like that. What this verb is, 알다 or 모르다 or 궁금하다 or 알고 싶다 or 가르치다 or 말하다 or anything like that is about this 지. So that's what gets the particle. You wouldn't change the particle that goes before the sentence, like Korean is difficult. That's just 한국어가, for example. And let's check out, I just got a donation from, 52 bunker. I saw your name mentioned before in the other person's donation. 52 bunker. 혹시 한국어가 얼마나 어려운지 알아요? Perfect! Nice job, 52 bunker. You could say that sentence with, you could say that sentence to someone, I guess someone who's Korean. If someone says, oh, Korean, I think Korean's easy. You could say, 혹시 한국어가 얼마나 어려운지 알아요? Like, do you know how hard Korean is? You could say it to them just like that. Very nice. Yes, that's why there's the in there. The description of the unknown information. That's right, throwaway. This G form, as throwaway pointed out, is the unknown information. So that's what would be marked with a particle. If you want to know something, then what you want to know is that particle. And usually they don't add a particle here, but if you wanted to, it would be the object marker. Or if you wanted to say, I am curious. Well, curious actually is a descriptive verb, 궁금하다. So you wouldn't use a descriptive verb with the object marker. So you could use it with the subject marker, But as I said, most of the time they don't use these markers at all. They just don't use them. So 지 알아요, 지 궁금해요. But you wouldn't put it somewhere else in the sentence. Like it wouldn't change what the rest of your sentence normally would be if you hadn't used 지, is what I want to say. So yeah, let me write this up on the screen so you can kind of see an answer. Because I know I've looked at all your stuff. So 한국어가 or 한국어가 얼마나 어려운지 알아요? Or 아세요 or whatever. Do you know this unknown information of how difficult Korean is? Do you know whether Korean is difficult or not? How much it is? Do you know? It's literally what it means. So it doesn't mean do you know whether Korean is difficult. If you said 한국어가 어려운지 알아요? That would mean do you know if or do you know whether Korean is difficult? Or think of it this way. Do you know the unknown information that Korean is difficult? So it's unknown, so I don't know if it is. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Do you know? 알아요? But now I'm saying 얼마나 어려운지, exactly how much is what I want to know, is what I don't know. And then you're asking, do you know? So yeah. I think I just got ink on my nails from that, but that's fine. Okay. Let's go on to the next section. It's 3:15, and we're doing really good. Oh, let me get some. Let me get something to drink. Because now we're going into the advanced part of our lesson. Oh yeah, muku. Don't worry, I'll do that part too. That's at the very end of our lesson. I'll talk about how it's different. So, we've only been talking about how to say whether or if or stuff like that. What if you wanted to say whether or not? And you don't really need to say this or not. Because if you say, do you know whether Korean is difficult? It means the same thing as, do you know whether or not Korean is difficult? Right? I mean, that's what it means in English. But if you add in the or not, you can just emphasize that you're also curious about or want to know or say that you don't know that it's possible that it's not. So this is to emphasize the fact that it might not be a certain way. So let's learn how to say whether or not. Now, this is an advanced form. So this is not something you want to stress about if you're not yet at an advanced level. Or maybe you are. And this is actually very easy to do. So we first take our adjective, we attach 지, just like before. Then afterward, we attach the negative form of this same adjective. And then attach 지 again. And then we finish the sentence with whatever you want to say. So 알다, 모르다. What am I doing? Anyway, any verb you want to put there, like you're curious, you want to know, please tell me. Now this adds the meaning of whether it is, whether it isn't. That's all it is. This should be pretty clear. Let me give you an example. So all you do is you take the adjective and you attach right after it with the same exact G form, the negative version of that adjective. So, however, you can't just simply attach it in every case. Like for our previous example, 한국어가 얼마나 어려운지 doesn't mean, do you know whether Korean is how difficult or not? It just means, do you know how hard Korean is? So you couldn't say 한국어가 얼마나 어려운지, 안 어려운지. That's not quite, it wouldn't quite make sense in Korean because it wouldn't make sense in English. You wouldn't say whether in the first place. No, this is only when you're saying the meaning of whether. So whether or not, whether if. So 한국어가, we're just going to make it simple. 어려운지. We'll keep the simple first. 알아요. So we're going to ask a question. 한국어가 어려운지 알아요? Do you know if, whether, Korean is difficult. Now let's add the meaning of whether or not. So now we really want to emphasize that it's unknown if it's difficult, but it's also unknown if it's not. So maybe it's not, just as much as it is. It could be, it couldn't, but it's also just as possible that it's not. And we want to emphasize that or not meaning. It's very easy. So we have, oops, why do I keep writing, why do I keep trying to write the whole verb? 어려운지, 안 어려운지 알아요? Do you know if Korean is difficult or not difficult? Is what it literally means. But we're not done. This isn't the only thing we can do. In addition to negative verbs, you can actually just think of it like this. Take the opposite of that adjective, whether that's an adjective's actual negative version or not. Just take its opposite. So, what is an opposite of 어렵다? Well, you have a lot of options. You have more than one option. First, you might think 안 어렵다, right? You might think 어렵지 않다, right? So you would say 어렵지 않은지, if you want to do that. 않은지. So you might think like that. Actually, let me write it like that. That might be easier to see. So 어렵지 않은지 or 안 어려운지. But what's another opposite word for 어렵다? Let me see if you guys wrote in the chat. Yeah, 쉽다, 쉬워요. Tiffany K-pop had it too. Dr. Nutria as well. Yes, 쉽다, to be easy. So you can, so normally it would be 쉽다. So you could write 쉬운지 or anything like that. Any sort of opposite verb. It should be a really big opposite or else it might sound a little bit awkward. But yeah, you can say 한국어가 어려운지 안 어려운지 or 어렵지 않은지 or 쉬운지 알아요? Do you know if Korean is difficult or easy? Now, this isn't asking them to choose. This is not asking someone, do you like this or do you like this? Like, 피자를 좋아하는지, 케이크를 좋아하는지. You're not asking someone to choose something. That would not mean to choose. That would just mean you don't know if they like pizza or you don't know if they like cake. So I want to make that clear. This is not for when you're asking someone to choose between two things. It's saying simply that this is an unknown bit of information. So you can say, tell me, or I don't know, or I know, just like that. So remember that this meaning is some sort of unknown information. You are not using it for making a choice. It's not giving someone a choice saying, is Korean difficult or is Korean easy? That's not what it means. That's actually easier to say if you just wanted to ask someone if Korean's easy or difficult. No, this is saying you don't know that, or you want to know that, or you ask someone to tell you that. So this is how you use it. And in addition, you have one more choice. If that opposite, so say, if the verb that you're using is a descriptive verb. So this is only for descriptive verbs. You have one more option. You can use 아니다, to not be. Because descriptive verbs are to be pretty, to be funny, to be busy, to be happy, to be nice, all that to be. So this 아니다 means to not be. So you can replace it like that. So instead of 어려운지, 쉬운지, you could say something like 어려운지, 아닌지. And that would mean difficult or not, right? Just or is not, is not. Now this only works with descriptive verbs. If you're doing something like an action verb, like 좋아하는지. Like if you were to say 철수가 BTS를 좋아하는지 or not, 안 좋아하는지 or 싫어하는지, dislikes or anything like that. You can't say 좋아하는지 아닌지 because 좋아하다 is an action verb, to like. So this is only for descriptive verbs, but you have this extra option. And I think this 아니다 is the most commonly used verb whenever they're saying this sort of or not meaning with the descriptive verb, it's more common to say 어려운지 아닌지 than it would be to say 어려운지 쉬운지 or 어려운지 안 어려운지, something like that. So I would recommend using 아니다. That could be 아닌지 or 아닐지, future tense or anything, instead of using the other negative version of a descriptive verb. But for an action verb, you have no choice. You have to use the negative form of that. So you can say 좋아하는지, 싫어하는지, for example. You could also use 좋아하는지, 안 좋아하는지, or 좋아하지 않는지, just like before. So you have a few options with every verb. But with descriptive verbs, I recommend just using this because it's a little bit more commonly used. Whew. Man, this is getting fun. So now we're already, this is already in the advanced category. So we're going to do some sentences. Tell me how I would say this. I want you guys to make this sentence. And I'm going to give you only one verb. 똑똑하다. 똑똑하다. 똑똑하다 means to be smart. So I want you to make this sentence. I don't know if Billy, by the way, Billy, I don't know if Billy is smart or not. You don't have to say dumb. You can just say smart or not. I don't know whether Billy is smart or not. I want you to make that sentence, and I'll make it in a second. But while you're making that sentence, I'm going to read the chat for a moment. Oh, Amariliz, you're ridiculously fast. I just picked up the tablet, and you already typed it out. 빌리가 똑똑한지 아닌지 몰라요. 빌리가 똑똑하지, throwaway, you have a typo. 똑똑한지. 똑똑하다 is a descriptive verb. Remember, it's not an action verb, so it does not use 하는지. I think Tiffany K-pop also copied that and had the same mistake. 똑똑한지 아닌지 몰라요. Nice. 빌리 씨가 Dr. Nutria, thank you for adding she to my name. 빌리 씨가 똑똑한지 아닌지 모르겠어요. I wouldn't know. Yeah, that's perfect, Dr. Nutria. 빌리가 똑똑한지 아닌지 몰라요. Nice. 빌리가 Daniel O'Brien as well. 똑똑하다 is a descriptive verb and not an action verb, so it conjugates to an adjective differently. It doesn't conjugate as 는지, it's just 똑똑한지. And you can watch a explanation. I see a bunch of people are writing 하는지. It's not 는지 because it's a descriptive verb. Descriptive verbs become adjectives not with 는. That's action verbs. So I made a live stream about conjugating descriptive verbs to adjectives already, so you can check that out. I also have a video on my channel for how to conjugate descriptive verbs as well as action verbs. So if you wrote 똑똑하는지 and you're not sure why it's wrong, please check out those two videos. If you know that, if you're like, oops, then that's fine. Because everyone can make those types of mistakes. So you can say 빌리 씨가, or just 빌리가 똑똑한지. There's other ways you can say this. 똑똑한지 아닌지 몰라요. Or whatever else you want to say. So I don't know. This unknown information. Is Billy smart? Is he not? 몰라요. I don't know. Is Billy smart? Is he not? I don't know. That's a perfect sentence. And we've done a lot of stuff with this form. We've gone up to 6 different levels of using this one form chi. And surprisingly, we're actually ahead of schedule. So I want to do another one. Let's do another example with you guys. So, do you know if many people came to the party? Try this one, but I'll tell you in advance. This one is definitely in a high intermediate level sentence. So, do you know if many people came to the party or not? I'm going to write it. While I'm writing, go ahead and give it a try. Let me just write this first. Then let's check the chat, see if anyone got that, and let's see what the donation was. I just got a flash notification. Whoa, Carminas with your the ARS, the mystery coin that I keep forgetting. I swear I know it, but I for some reason I keep forgetting what it is. Carminas, another week, another great German lesson with German lesson. What? What are you talking about? German lesson? What is it? Did I miss something? ARS, yes, 50. I'll do a dab for that. I think I missed something though with German. What is this? Yeah, Argentine peso. That's right. That's right. I knew it was like Argentine, but I couldn't think of what the S was for. Doesn't peso start with P? Shouldn't it be ARP? I'm going to do a dab. Hold on. Carmenas. Thank you. I'm just going to check to see what you guys wrote. I hope there isn't another advanced part. Sorry. There is. There's not enough. There's no more levels though. This is the last level of this form, but there is a little more that we can do with it, but it's not another whole level. It's not another jump. 파티에 온 사람이 많은지 적은지 알아요? Okay. Yeah, you can say something like that. Yeah. Is the number of people, how many people came to the party, a lot or a few? Yeah. I didn't expect that. 많은 사람들이 파티에 왔는지 아세요? Do you know if many people came to the party? Yeah, you can say like that too. It's kind of funny because I didn't expect people would write it different ways. 파티에 사람이 많이 왔는지 안 왔는지 알아요? Throw away. Yes, nice. Exactly what I wrote here. 파티에 사람이 많이 왔는지 안 왔는지 알아요? Park Jae-soo, nice. Do you know if many people are coming to the party? Yes, 많은 사람들이 파티에 왔는지 아는 Tiffany K-pop. The last part for 왔는지 would be incorrect since this is a action verb, so it has to be a negative version of 오다, to come. 파티에 사람이 많이 가는지 안 가는지. Do you know if many people are going? Noah Deeps, what you wrote is, do you know if many people are going to the party? Okay. 파티에, P was the old one. S is the new one. I see. So it was called ARP, but now it's ARS. Okay. What happened to Q and R? It just went from P directly to S? Or did they do like a ARQ and ARR and then they're like, nah, that doesn't sound good. Let's do ARS. My brain burns. Yes, I'm sorry. Oh, good. The bot is back. The bot is working. I thought that was broken. Okay, it must have been down. 많은 사람이 파티에 왔는지. Mike, you wrote 왔는지 아닌지. But Mike, you cannot do 아닌지 with an action verb. It is only with a descriptive verb, as I explained. I understand how advanced grammar works, but I have the vocabulary of a beginner. That's okay. That's fine. 파티에 많은 사람이 왔는지 안 왔는지 알아요? Okay, Ella Viper, nice job. All right, yeah, you guys got it. So, congratulations on making it this far. We are in completely advanced Korean territory. That doesn't mean that you have to be fluent in Korean to understand it, but it means that only people who are advanced level are going to actually be able to use this form very much or understand it in every situation. So, we do have a little bit more that I want to talk about, and that is... we do have a little bit of time. Perfect. Yes, we are 10 minutes ahead of schedule. There's another form that some people have asked me about. And that is, well, there's two. One of them is 줄 알다. Now, this is not advanced. This would be an intermediate level concept. And then 어떻게 는지 알다. Or 모르다. So how to do something. Now there's also this 줄 알다 form which would just like G, 줄 would also enter the advanced territory. It would be a very similar type of lesson that we could talk about. 줄 can be used to mean some sort of knowledge of information. It's not an unknown fact like this. How to do something. It also means something is as you expected. We could talk about that later in another lesson if you want. So there's two ways to say, do you know how to ride a bicycle? Well, there's two main ways to say it. There's 자전거를, let's actually do our first one. 어떻게 타는지 알아요? do you know how to ride a bicycle? But there's another way that people have learned, and you probably have seen this before, using 줄. 자전거, and it's shorter. 자전거를 탈 줄 알아요? This means the exact same thing as 어떻게 는지. 어떻게 는지 is the exact same meaning here as 탈 줄, or this 줄. This 줄 means the same thing as 어떻게 something something 는지. So, have you seen this before? I want to check to see in the chat how many of you are familiar with this type of form. So 줄 can replace 는지? No, it cannot. These are different, completely different forms, but it has the same meaning. So you might have seen people say this 줄 for how to know how to do something. Like 한국어를 할 줄 알아요. I know how to speak Korean. And that's another very common way of saying to know how to do something, but it's very limited. You can only use it for saying, in this case, only use it for saying to know how to do something or to not know how to do something. And that's it. You cannot expand it into these other types of usages that we had here. It has different types of uses that it can go into, completely different. But this usage overlaps with this usage, and that's it. So that's what I want to say. It is not replaceable. It's just in this type of usage, it overlaps with this type of usage. But the forms are not related at all, and they don't share a single meaning together. The difference is that 줄 is slightly more formal than 는지, but not different enough to make a difference. So they're pretty much the exact same formality. However, the difference is that if you see 줄 used, 줄 is only used for talking about some sort of skill or ability. So you're not going to say, do you know how to go to the bathroom with 줄? As much as you might just say, 어떻게 가는지. You would use that a little more than you would say, 화장실에 갈 줄. 줄 is like some sort of skill or ability. So it would be like saying, do you have the ability to go to the bathroom? It's like, I mean, to locate the bathroom. You'd be like, yeah, I guess so, sure. No, it's more like, do you have the ability to ride a bicycle? Do you have the ability to speak Korean? Do you have the ability to cook? Something like that. So it's more of a skill. Whereas 는지, 어떻게 는지, is specifically for anything you want. You can say to go, do you know how to find something out, or anything regular. It doesn't have to be some sort of skill. Now, 줄 doesn't have to be a skill, but that's typically what it's used for most of the time. So that's the difference, if you ever see this. And I'm not going to be teaching this form today because it's a different form. But if you run a really quick overview, it's just this or this after a verb stem and then 줄. So that's all I'm going to say about it. And it means how to. And it's also used with 알다 and 모르다, but it is not used with any of the other verbs that we used before, like to teach or anything like that. It's specifically just for knowledge of something or not having knowledge of something. So that's what I want to say first. Another thing that I also get asked about this form, which would be, okay, this marker. I think we're going to say farewell to this marker. So goodbye, marker. Goodbye, marker. We're going to get a new one. Okay. Oh, wait, sorry, not marker. I mean eraser. You guys know what I mean. My brain is like in Korean mode right now, and I tried to say eraser and marker came out of my mouth. I'll get rid of the markers too later. Get some new markers. Okay, there we go. The next thing is, people have asked me a lot about what's the difference between these two forms. The 지 알다 or 모르다, or I'll just write this. 지, because we learned this. We learned now we can use it, how we can use it. 지 or 는 걸 알다, 모르다, and etc. Now, I'm not going to be teaching this form today. I'm only answering this question as an addition for those of you who specifically are curious and those of you who already know this form. Now, what this is you might see it with 다는 것을 or 나는 것을. If it's with the 이다 becomes 나, and 다 would be for all other verbs. So, if you don't know this form, like 했다는 것을 알고 싶어요. 누가 했는지 알고 싶어요. 빌리가 한국어를 잘 한다는 것을 알고 있어요. 빌리가 한국어를 잘 하는지 알고 싶어요. If you already know this form, then pay attention. If you do not already know this form, I am not going to teach it today because it would be a very long lesson. It would be another 30 minutes to cover this form. So this is only if you already know about this form and you think, what's the difference? Because you can say something like this. Let's see. Let's say... Billy is... Let's say 철수. 철수 is 바보, okay? 철수가 바보인지 철수가 바보인지 몰라요. First of all, 지 again is for unknown information. So I don't know if 철수 is 바보. So whether 철수 is a 바보 or not, it's unknown. I don't know it. So it is unknown whether 철수 is a 바보 or not, and I don't know that. 철수가 바보인지 몰라요. But you could also say something like this. 철수가 바보, 보바. 철수 is 보바. 바보라는, so from 이다, 라는 것을 몰라요. So I don't know the information that 철수 is a 바보. So you might think, oh, that seems very similar. So you can use both of them. I see they're completely unrelated and different forms. This 나는 or 타는, if it's a action verb, this 타는, this 는 것을 알다, 모르다 is for a fact of information. Fact. Some knowledge that is true. So it is a fact. So you cannot ask someone if they know something with this 나는 것 unless it's already a fact. Like you can't trick someone and be like, hey, do you know that you're a 바보? That would be totally rude. You say 철수가, if you say to 철수, like 철수가 바보라는 것을 알아요? Do you know that it is a fact that you are dumb? You can't say that to them because it means it's already a fact. And you're just asking, are you aware of the fact that you're dumb? You know, like a playground insult. You know, like, are you dumb? So this is not the same as saying 바보인지, which is an unknown piece of information. You could ask 철수가 바보인지 알아요? 바보인지 몰라요? Like, do you know whether 철수 is or not? I don't know. It's unknown. It would still be rude to say that to anyone, but you could because it means it's unknown information. It's not a fact. It's not a true fact. It's unknown. You see, this is why it's also important to get this distinction of it being about an unknown piece of information, because the 타는 것을 알다, 타는 것, 라는 것, that one is for a fact. So it's something that's already true information, or at least you believe it to be true. And then you can say you know that or you don't know that. So let's do another example. Let's say 철수가 do you know that 철수 has a lot of money? 돈이 많이 있다는 걸, it's from 것을, just write 걸, 알아요? Actually, let's write this a little bit smaller because I'm going to write two examples. 있다는 걸, 있는지. So, we have A here and we have B. First A, 철수가 돈이 많이 있다는 걸 알아요? Is a fact that 철수 has a lot of money. It is a fact that 철수 has a lot of money. 철수 has a lot of money. Do you know that? Not if or whether. It's not unknown. Do you know that 철수 has a lot of money? 철수는, actually let's say 철수는 or whatever. 철수가 whatever. 돈이 많다는 걸, 많이 있다는 걸 알아요? Do you know that 철수 has a lot of money? Versus B, 철수 돈이, it's whatever. 철수 is whatever. Just the he. 돈이 많이 있는지. Do you know if he has a lot of money? It's not a known fact. So it's not known whether 철수 has a lot of money or not. And I actually like this distinction because I think looking at this distinction can even help you further understand the difference, what this G form means. Because you can see here, this is 타는 걸 is some known fact and G is an unknown fact. But notice how just that small piece alone completely changes the meaning in English. Do you know that he has a lot of money versus do you know if he has a lot of money? That's the difference between the two forms, but they are not interchangeable at all. And literally, they don't mean the same thing either, as you can say. Like you wouldn't say, 화장실 어디 있는지. You could say 화장실 어디 있는지 알아요? Do you know where is the bathroom? But you couldn't say 화장실 어디 있다는 거를 알아요? Do you know the fact that the bathroom is where? Right? It just doesn't make any sense. Logically, it doesn't make any sense. So not only do these forms not mean the same thing, but they don't logically have the same grammar. It wouldn't make sense to say, I know that, when did we meet? Or I know that, who is it? Or I know that, how do I do it? Like it doesn't make any sense. It's only used for a fact, some sort of common knowledge that you know that is a fact to be true. So hopefully that clears it up. We do have a little bit more. I'm going to do one more form. This is also advanced. And this is a form that advanced people learn from their grammar books. And it's good to know it, but it's honestly not used that often. And that is how to say might or may. Like it might or it may or he might. It's used the same way. So you take a verb stem in the future tense. So let's just write future adjective plus 지, 도. And then 모르다. So 지도 모르다, 지도 몰라요, or 모르겠습니다, or something like that. But you use a future tense adjective, so that would be like 할지, 먹을지, with the future tense, the lir letter that we learned before. An example would be something like, he might have bought a car. Actually, let me see if you guys can do it. Oh, no, that may be too tricky because this actually uses future. Okay, no matter what tense this adjective is, let me do this. Let me explain this a little bit better before I give you that. Okay, you take the regular adjective in any tense, and then you just take the stem of that adjective. I'm sorry. You take the stem of an adjective. I'll show you what that means. And then you attach this or this, like before, to make it into future. So this could be a past tense adjective stem changed into future tense. This is fun. Okay, so let me give you an example before you tear your hair out. It's not as hard as it seems, but yes, it is. So, so we want to say, for example, he might have bought a car. So normally to buy is 사다, to buy, right? Now, past tense. Actually, first let's just do he might buy a car, okay? He might buy a car. So we're going to just use regular tense. So he might buy a car, so we're going to make it future tense. So 살지도 몰라요. And then in front of that we could say 자동차. 자동차를 살지도 몰라요. Like I might, future tense, but it's not future tense though. Here, it's actually just, this is the way that the grammar is used. It does use this future tense ending, but it's not necessarily future tense. The tense comes from the part before. And here we didn't add any tense. It's just regular present tense. So I might, regular tense, present tense, I might buy a car. Not I might will buy a car. I might buy a car. So you don't need to use future tense again here. It's just going to be a different tense because future tense is already, the future tense ending will already be attached with this part. So you just take a regular thing. So 자동차를 살지도 몰라요. I might or I may buy a car. I don't know. This 도 means even. So even the information of whether I will buy it or not, I don't know. So this is how you can say, I don't know if I might buy a car. I might. Literally though means I don't know even if I will buy a car. But more naturally, you can just translate it as I might, or something might happen, or it might be a certain way. Now, so that's the first way. I said you can use any adjective in any tense with this form. So unfortunately, here's how it goes. So let's say he might have bought a car. Well, normally the past tense would be 샀는지, right? 샀는지. If you just say 자동차를 샀는지 몰라요, it has a completely different meaning. Or even 샀는지도. That just means I don't know if he bought a car. Or I don't know if he even bought a car. With 도. I don't know if he even bought a car. But that is not might or may. This does not have the meaning of might or may. Okay? So you could just say 자동차를 샀는지도 몰라요. It's kind of awkward, but you say 샀는지 몰라요. I don't know if he bought a car. But that's not what we're doing. We want to say he might have bought a car. Not just I don't know if he bought a car. He might have bought a car. So we have the past tense adjective here. 샀, right? This part. When we get to this part. Okay. Normally the past tense of an adjective would end in 다. 샀다. So 샀다 is just the unconjugated past tense adjective, non-conjugated past tense conjugated version. This is complicated. 샀다 would normally be the past tense conjugated version left in the unconjugated form. So we've unconjugated after making it past tense. So 샀다. And you can use this in quotations, like you can say 샀다고 했어요. Like I said that he bought it, right? Now this isn't too hard if you know this form. 샀다고 했어요. I said that he bought it. 샀다고 했어요. But now we need to take this stem, this past tense stem of buy, and attach 지도 몰라요. I'm like laughing because I'm like laughing at my own explanation. Like I'm saying, what did I say? Past tense adjective conjugated into the future tense. So I apologize for that. That was not very professional. So yes. So all you do is you want to get the unconjugated form. So like 했다, whatever, 샀다, 더웠다, 착했다, whatever the past tense conjugation is, and you take the stem of that. Then to that stem, you attach 을지 or this letter, 릴, 지도, 모르다, and conjugate it. This means 자동차를 샀을지도 몰라요 means he might have, or I may have bought a car. Is that kind of clear? So this is definitely advanced territory that we're doing now. And it must end with this 을지도 or just this letter 을지도 몰라요, or it does not mean might or may. It would just mean I don't know whether or I don't know if, like we learned before. So to give it this special meaning of might or may, you have to add, it has to end with this, whatever the tense is. Yeah, 지도 means, 지도 itself does not mean you might. 지도 is just even the information, even that piece of unknown information. So you might say, I want to know even that piece of unknown information, or I don't know, or please tell me even that unknown piece of information. But the 지도 ending by itself is not commonly used. It's only really used in this form. So that's why, again, disclaimer here, we are in advanced territory right now. So don't pull out your hair too much if you're at this level. If you're at this level, you will be familiar with this type of ending already. I know 몰라요 went off the board, but 사실지도 should be clear. Yeah. 살 수도 있는지 몰라요. That means I don't know if I can buy it. 살 수도 있는지 몰라요. I don't know if I can even buy it. It's fine. Yeah. Doesn't mean might or may, but it just means regular. The bottom of the board is cut off. Yeah, I know that 몰라요 is cut off there. But 사실지, the important part is still there. Tiffany K-pop, I am a beginner. yeah, don't worry. I apologize. I really wanted to do a lesson though that entered some advanced territory just to kind of give you guys some something fun. If you're a beginner, please don't ask questions about this form because you won't be able to use it yet. And I'd feel bad if you're trying to understand this, but you're still a beginner. It's not going to be very good. I see a lot of people quit Korean or give up Korean because they say it's too hard. And the only reason it's too hard is because they're trying to learn things that require other things to learn, that require other basic things in order to learn them, and they haven't yet learned those basic things first. So Korean is like you take a bunch of little steps, and each step is basic. And when you reach the top, you look down, you're like, wow, I'm advanced. If you start at the bottom and you try to take a huge jump to the top, you're going to think it's impossible. You're like, there's no way. How did you get up there? Like, yeah, they just took one step at a time. They took small steps. So that's kind of what we did today, actually. Remember how we started from the beginner and worked our way all the way up to advanced? You guys have actually just gone through this topic from beginner all the way to advanced. And we only took one small step at a time. So we only said first, let's take away 어떻게. Now let's change the verb at the end, like 알고 싶어요. Okay, now let's change the adverb. Instead of 어떻게, let's use 언제. Okay, now let's change the verb completely. Let's say, let's do something else at the end. And we did a lot of small adjustments along the way to get you guys to an advanced level of using this form. And honestly, there is no other way that you can use this form. You guys got it all. You have it all now. I mean, there could be some, weird, obscure ways to use it left. But you guys have stepped from the beginning level all the way to advanced level with this form. So good job, guys. You actually did really good. I was impressed that you were following along really well. So we're actually done a little bit early. We're done 5 minutes early. So please check out, if you're a Patreon member, make sure to check out the Patreon page. This will be up within the hour. It's there's like 3 times as many sentences on here than what we did because I didn't have enough time to do everything. And they're all native, they're all natural sentences. They're not like weird. And so check those out. Also, if you join up our Discord chat, which is for all Korean levels, you can get more information about live streams. You can vote early on what you want the live streams to be. And also another small announcement is after today, there are only 5 more live Korean classes before the end of this season, season 2. Then I'm going to be going to Korea for an extended period for a few months. And when I come back from Korea, we'll do more live classes. While I'm gone in Korea, I won't be doing any of these live classes. I'll probably try to do like a different live stream, like a Q&A here or there. But there won't be any more of these classes. So there's only 5 more of these classes. So if there's a topic you really want to learn about, make sure you get it in. Make sure you vote on it. And if you have a suggestion, make sure to come to the Discord to give it to us so we can... If a bunch of people ask for it, I'll add it to the list for voting topics. And hopefully we can get your topic covered before we finish. So thanks for coming, everyone. I'll take your questions just for a few minutes and then we'll stop for today. How many episodes have been done for the season? I haven't counted. Maybe... Has someone counted? There might be like 30. At least more than 20. At least more than 20 classes so far. It's in the live streams playlist. So you can check how many videos are in that playlist and then subtract like 3. 그런데 북천안... Yeah. Oh, that's right. How do I get out of this village? 아, 저기요. 혹시 여기 어떻게 나가는지 아세요? 아, 알겠어요. 감사합니다. 정말 감사합니다. Phew. That guy passing by, he knew how to get out of here. That's so helpful. He said I have to go down the hall and to the right. And then that's the exit. It's right over here. I knew I should have just tried that from the beginning. I kept going the other way, around in a circle. Whew. Okay. If we subtract 3, it's 27. Yes, there have been 27 classes so far. Oh, the Korean, he was very quiet. No, he was just far away. So he's on the other side of my microphone, so you couldn't hear him. Yeah. And he used a sign language too. So yeah, that was part of it. But not deaf. So go figure. Is it natural to say 이해해요? To say I understand? Yeah, 이해해요 means I understand. That might not be the most natural way in every situation, but 이해하다 means to understand. So yes. 어떻게 versus 어떻게? 어떻게 just means like, what do I do? The first one, Tiffany. The second one is just the adverb how. So 어떻게, the first one is completely unrelated. That just means, what do I do? It could be 어떻게 or 어떻게요. Hey, Iman, calm down. Let's just check the chat for anyone else has any questions. 착하늘. Noah Deeps, try again your sentence about the cat. You have a couple typos in there, but I'm wondering if you try it again, maybe you can get it. Can you explain inde versus 대? Wintry, I have a live stream about the 대 ending that you can check out in my live stream playlist. There's also an abridged version of that live stream that you can watch, which is under 20 minutes. I think it's like 18 minutes. Helga, oh my, this is... You started yesterday. Oh, you just started this yesterday. Okay. Yes, please explain inde. Yes, there's a video on it. Check it out. I go into in-depth on there. 한국어를 공부했을지도 몰라요. Okay. I might have studied Korean. Unicorn mixer. 한국어를 공부했을지도 몰라요. So you could say that about someone who speaks Korean. And if their Korean friends like, hey, how did he learn Korean? You say, 한국어를 공부했을지도 몰라요. He might have studied Korean. Well, the Korean would probably reply like, gee, you think? You don't say. But you could say something like that. He might have studied Korean. So yes. And yes, this video will come up on my channel after a few hours when it finishes processing. You can review this video. And then another few months later, you'll see an abridged version of it on my channel as well. Who are you going to collab with when you're in Korea? That's a good question. I have some people that I'll collab with that I've always already talked with, but I'm still trying to find new people. If you have any suggestions for who I should collaborate with, come to the Discord and let me know. I would be very open to finding new people to collaborate with because I love collaborating. I like meeting new people. And most of the people I collaborate with are really cool. And I like the friendships that I've been able to make from some of my collaborations. Do you know who you... No, who's that? Are there more languages that you know? Some Japanese. Hey, 52 Bunker. 혹시 행복한 발렌타인일까요? Would it be a Happy Valentine's? By chance, Happy Valentine's? Are you trying to say Happy Valentine Day? Would it be Valentine Day? They'd say. 52 Bunker, but thank you. And you didn't tell me not to dab, so I'm totally going to dab. Oh wait, you already did the donation. Oh, sweet. Let me add that in here. So now it's up from 5, now it's to 10. Really appreciate 52 Bunker. But you're too late. Your donation does not tell me not to dab. I'm charging up my dab. I'm charging it. Don't dab. Can't type Korean quick. No. Okay. All right, I won't. I was just getting charged up. I was going to give a really big one, but you stopped. Okay. Can 한국어 얼마나 어려운지 몰라요? Mean you don't know how hard Korean is. Yes, it can. Guns, XO. 한국어 얼마나 어려운지 몰라요. So 한국어가 얼마나 어려운지 몰라요. You don't know how hard Korean is. Yes, perfect. Yes, you can. Are there streams every week? Yes, there are streams every week so far for 5 more weeks. And then we'll stop for a few months while I go to Korea. And then when I come back, we'll start season 3. You should collab with John and Mac. Janya, post their information in the Discord. I haven't heard of them. Quick, somebody donate for that super chat. It's charged. It's just the power is gonna dissipate, so don't worry about it. She has nothing to do with teaching, but nothing to do with teaching. Well, I can collaborate with someone who doesn't do Korean teaching. That's okay. But it would have to be someone that does stuff related to Korea in some way. And someone who would be okay collaborating with me because I do Korean stuff. Danchi, Billy, you're so adorable. I don't know what that part at the end means. Did you have a stroke or something? 감사합니다, 선생님. 선생님 덕분에 한국어를 배울 수 있어요. Nice, Tiffany. Good job. How'd you learn? Park Chae-soo, I have a video about that on my channel. Also, my website answers that. But yeah, self-study. A few classes, mostly though self-study. Maybe you could hit up Jolly. I don't think they would collaborate with me. I sent them an email and they didn't reply. I'm sure they are extremely busy. But I am subscribed to them. 17th of March. Yes, that will be the final class. Korean Englishman and Jolly. Yeah, I do know their channel though. I don't know if they know mine, but I do know theirs. Yeah, there are some like dream collaborations that I would like. Dave would be great to collaborate with. That could be fun. But he's also extremely busy. I've seen he puts up a lot of videos and he's editing like 24 hours a day. So he might not have any time to collaborate with me. But anyone else, probably someone who's smaller, I'd have to collaborate with. I could try. Yes, so anyway, thank you guys for coming. I should probably stop here and take down the stuff and get out of this town before it gets to be nighttime, before the sun starts going down. So thank you for coming. I will see you guys again next Sunday. Remember to vote on Tuesday. 그럼 다음에 또 봐. Let's get my stuff out of here and let's go down to the I think that guy said down the hall and to the left. So I'll try that. Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to go down this way to the left and then make a left. See you guys later.